Arizona. What's going on? Because I'm getting a lot of Arizonan stories, okay? Something terrorized us on our Arizona desert farm. I was 16 when this all happened. We lived in the Arizona desert back when we still lived on the farm, yet I still wonder what the hell we experienced all those years ago. It started subtly, like most things out here in the quiet hum of the Arizona desert. You live out here long enough, you get used to the strange sounds, the coyotes' evening chorus, the distant rumble of a passing train, the wind carrying dust devils across the mesa. We raised our goats, grew some tough, drought-resistant crops. The nearest town was a good hour's drive, which suited us just fine. The first sign was the dogs. We had 3 working dogs, loyal and fierce. Usually they were a symphony of barks at anything that moved too close to the property line. Javelina, bobcats, even the occasional lost hiker. But a few nights back, they went from their usual boisterous alerts to a low, guttural whine that felt different. It wasn't anger or aggression, it was pure, unadulterated fear. They huddled by the back door, tails tucked, ears flat, staring out into the moonless blackness of the desert beyond our fence line. Their hackles weren't raised, they were just frozen. I've seen those dogs face down rattlesnakes and mountain lions without a flinch. This was different. "What is it, guys?" I murmured as my older brother and I went back to check on the goats in their pens, checking to see if the fences were still intact. "Everything all right?" my brother asked, shining a flashlight from ahead of me, standing already at the fence. "Dogs are riled up," I said, simply looking around. "Could be coyotes. We had problems with them a few days now," he replied. I shined my heavy-duty flashlight out. Nothing, just the endless cacti. The air was still too quiet, too still. Even the crickets seemed to quiet down. The next morning, my brother and I found tracks. Not coyotes, not dogs. They were vaguely canine, but too large. And there was something off about the gait. Almost bipedal in places, like whatever made them sometimes walked on 2 legs. They led right up to the perimeter fence, paused, and then veered sharply away into the brush, disappearing. We thought they would have belonged to wolves, but they were quite rare in these parts. Heck, seeing one was a miracle. We showed our dad the tracks. He simply told us not to tell our mother so she didn't have to worry so much since she had been dealing with hypertension for a while. His face, though, confirmed the fact that they couldn't be wolves. Our dogs have seen wolves, and they've never reacted like that to one, like they did the previous night. That afternoon, while my brother and I were helping our dad fix a broken irrigation valve near the back 40, we heard it. A sound that couldn't make sense. It was our mother's voice. "Honey? Boys? Are you out here?" "Yeah, Mom, we're here," my brother replied, standing still and pausing to listen. "Okay," the voice replied, closer than it should have been, almost right behind the line of the tall salt cedar bushes, 20 feet from us. My dad walked over to the bushes. "What do you need, baby?" Silence. He pushed the dry branches aside. Nothing, just the dirt, the humming heat, and the slow drip of water from the leaking valve. My dad looked at us before pointing at me, who had my phone on me. "Call your mother." I quickly pulled out my phone with shaking hands and dialed her up, waiting for her to pick up. "Yes, honey, you need something?" my mom said, her voice clear and a bit annoyed. A cold tremor ran down my spine. We thought you called us just now from the back field." "No," she said, firm. "I haven't left the kitchen all morning. You must have misheard the wind." I ended the call before looking at my brother and dad, who waited with expectant eyes. "She said she was in the kitchen all morning. Never left the house," I said with a shaky voice. "How's that possible? We just heard her," my brother said. "Let's just pack up," my dad chimed in. He looked calm, but I knew he was freaked out too. "Think we're done for the day." I tried to shake it off, blaming the heat, but I know my mom's voice, and the thing that terrified me was that the voice I heard, though an accurate mimic cry, lacked the little familiar cracks and hums that usually characterize her voice when she's talking outdoors. It was too perfect, like a recording playing back without static. As the days went on, a day came when one of the sturdiest yearling bucks, a black one named Samson, was missing. My brother and I volunteered to go look for the buck, giving our dad the free time he needed to finish up the valve. He let us take the rifle as a precaution because he didn't want us to be defenseless out there. We followed the paths that were grooved into the hard ground as rock crunched beneath our boots. As we walked, it was quite hot by 11 a.m. already, with the cicadas going crazy and the heat of the sun blazing down on us. After we trekked down the path for a good 30 minutes, it started to slow down at some point and realized something was off. I couldn't see it, but I could feel eyes on us. I turned to look around, but there was nothing. Just the silent breeze sifting through the bushes. Even the cicadas started to quiet down, which was unusual. "Keep up," my older brother said, way ahead of me. He was turned toward me, watching me as I sped up. "Sorry." We walked for a few more minutes before we started to hear the buzz of flies to our left off the trail. We stopped and listened. "You hear that?" He glanced at me. Yeah, flies. We got off the trail and rounded a large rock. What we saw still shakes me to my core. It was Samson, our goat buck, and he lay on the ground on his side. We knew he was dead because he was disemboweled and all of his guts were outside. What disturbed me the most was how the organs were placed around its corpse in an imperfect circle. Bodily fluids soaked the ground along the circle of organs, and it made me gag. My brother merely touched my back. My God, he said. What the fuck does this? I asked in a heavy voice. A homeless hitchhiker, maybe? But I didn't see anyone, he said. I could see his eyes moving rapidly, trying to rationalize what he was seeing, trying to find an explanation, any explanation. Our thoughts were cut off by the yips and cries of coyotes. We looked around at that, but couldn't see anything. They sounded distant at first, but then started to come closer. That's our cue to leave. We need to get away from this body now, my brother yelled as he grabbed me and ran. We ran down the trail, but we were caught in a circle of sounds. The cries of the coyotes sounded like they were coming from everywhere and surrounding us, like they were trying to disorient us. So that's going to be part 1. This is absolutely crazy. If you're watching this on the YT, they do not have permission to utilize my content. Please report the video. Find me on Spooky Scary Ghost Stories on all platforms. That includes YT. I do post daily on all 3 platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and YT. So find me there, report the video, or let me know and I will report it. The story is well written. There's so much detail to it. This person remembers so much of this. It's absolutely insane. It's written just flawlessly as well. I just have to add that. The email and the way that it's written out could absolutely be a book. I think this person should consider writing a book about their experience and just kind of playing off the experience and making it into a whole thing. I can't wait to get to the ending of this story. This is absolutely crazy and I'm loving every second of it. Guys, in part 2, I absolutely love and adore you. Please keep in mind that other people use stories and send them to other accounts. Have a good day.